Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our episode 9 of African Real Estate Podcast. And in this episode, we will be looking at the second part of the property insurance. In our episode 8, we did look at the basics and the several types of property insurance. And now in our episode 9, we will conclude looking at property insurance. My name is Dominic Mwangi. I will be your host alongside
Victor Kiplagat. I'm your co-host. Welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen.
I hope you have been well.
I've been doing fantastic. I'm breathing, living, and drinking real estate.
And a reminder to our audiences, we always tell them that this podcast, it's all about exploring the dynamics of real estate.
Thank you, Dominic. I'll briefly look at the step, a guide to insuring your home. There are 5 steps. Number 1, know exactly what you are covered for. It is important to know what exactly you are covered for, as well as the extent of your insurance. Comprehensive homeowners should always ensure that the property insurance cover includes a structural cover. Additionally, point 2, ensure that you have enough cover. Customers can be underinsured. A good tip is to start with a home inventory. This will help you assess the kind of insurance that you need, so that you understand, if I was to rebuild my house today on my existing lot, what would be needed? What would be the market rate? What would be the resources? The other bit about ensuring that you have enough cover is ensuring that the amount of personal property coverage in terms of percentage is upgraded to 75%. The other bit about it is understanding the terms and conditions of your cover. Qualification for home and contents insurance is restricted to consumers who are the legal owners of the house to be insured. It is important to know that there are limits to certain types of personal property or the contents of your home. For example, how jewelry, firearms, silverware, wall hangings are insured is different to how contents of a home like wall units, carpets, sofa sets are insured, because terms and conditions of your cover will be different, obviously. And then it's also good to update your policy. When you've updated your policy, it's going to ensure that if the insurance company has a policy, maybe a percentage of what they cover, how the claim is done. Importantly, also, step 5, get an expert on your side. An expert is important because he will ensure you understand the law of property insurance, how to quote the property very well. Also ensure that the home policy has been well explained to you.
Amazing. Our listener, it is very important to always have an updated policy, always understand the terms and conditions, and finally, have an expert, have a person who you trust. Let them explain to you what each and every clause means in that insurance policy. Thank you so much, Victor, for that. Moving on to the benefits of property insurance, you find that there are several benefits that one is assured of getting when they have an insurance cover or an insurance policy. The first and the major one is protection. When one has a property insurance, they are assured of protection for the property, either a home, a commercial property, or whatever property it is, provided it's a real estate property that is covered under property insurance. In the event of extensive damage, they are sure that I will get a refund, I will get a reimbursement. The second benefit of property insurance, there is safeguarding of contents. When one has obtained a policy safeguarding the contents of a home, for example, jewelry and furniture and electronics, among other things, in case of occurrence of a peril, property damage or destruction, the insurance policy will ensure that this person is reimbursed. The third benefit, you find that one has insurance against loss of use. This means if a property suffered extreme damage such that this property cannot be used any longer, when you have insured your property, for example, a home, against floods, and this property is washed away, now the insurance policy will help you repair costs and all the excesses. The next benefit, property insurance covers liability. An insurance cover also caters for losses that may be suffered at one's property. For example, you are doing renovations, and among the people who are doing the renovation, one breaks the leg. If you have the appropriate cover, it will ensure that all the medical expenses are met. If this person has been extremely injured, all the coverage will be done by the property insurance. You also find that there is protection of art and jewelry. That's another benefit. Some policies cover art and jewelry and pay when damage or loss occurs to this property. Last but not least, you find that one has access to management resources. Most of the property insurance companies, after one signs with them a contract, an insurance cover, they provide advice how you can ensure that when this destruction occurs, it will limit the percentage of damage on the property. Lastly, property insurance offers a vast number of options where one selects what is best fit for them. They offer customized covers if you want to protect your house against a fire, floods.
One of the advantages of home insurance include the following. When you have home insurance, gives you the benefit of having people who will ensure the home is to the best level it was before tragedy struck. It ensures you continue living in the best way possible as you were before. It covers significant damage. Another advantage of home insurance, it covers significant damage against explosion, lightning, fire, and it offers peace of mind to homeowners. Another very important way of looking at home insurance is that it protects us from lawsuits. Because if someone sustains an injury in your house in regard to property negligence, or maybe during renovation, maybe you did not take proper care, when the insurers take this case, the one who is affected by the injury will be paid the damages, and who's the homeowner will also be taken care of in a befitting way, kind of win-win situation. Disadvantages of home insurance does not cover everything. There are specifics that will be covered in the home insurance, but it will not cover the negligence of the homeowner, issues to do with terrorism or nuclear, because those are unforeseen, unprecedented issues that maybe you did not include in the cover. Additionally, the cost involved of the homeowner's insurance is expensive. Some premium insurance, it would mean you pay every month a certain amount of money. And it's expensive, especially if you have these, what we call bungalow houses, pensionate, palatial homes. Another disadvantage of this home insurance, the terms and conditions do vary. They're not all the same. Different home insurance policy has different terms and conditions. So you need to always study and understand the policy of the home insurance.
True. So you have to have the exact details. What does this clause say? So that you will not go claiming something that is not covered in your policy.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Victor, for covering the pros and cons of home insurance for eligibility. So that a property insurance policy can be claimed successfully, what are the considerations? What are the eligibility criteria? So the first and foremost is the property value. So insurance companies, they set a threshold as a prerequisite. You will not go covering a property that is a mabati structure. What is the word of a mabati structure?
Maybe
so
2,500.
You rightly put it. So you cannot expect a mabati structure or iron sheet structure to be covered by an insurance company. They set a threshold. Secondly, there is the property type. Different properties, for example, if in a commercial building, will have a different policy and amount compared to a residential property. So property insurance varies according to the nature of the property. Look at what property are you claiming? What property did you insure? Is it the same? Further, there is property possession and ownership. A property insurance will only cover a property that is legally owned by an individual. Victor, come and insure my house. You cannot insure my house. I am the only person who can insure the house because I have the right papers, I have the legal ownership, the possession, it's under my name. We also have property condition. The nature of a property influences the cover, and hence it's very important consideration. A property that is under-maintained may be prone to more risks compared to a property that is regularly maintained. Therefore, it's a key consideration when even going for a policy. There is also the potential of the risk. The rate at which the insured risk may possibly occur also affects the cost of an insurance policy, and hence a key consideration. For example, if you have insured a property, let's take an example of Budalangi. Budalangi, there is a lot of flooding when it rains. So you cannot insure a property against floods and pay the same premium as a person who has insured their property against floods in a place like Wajir. The frequency or the risk possibility also affects premium and the insurance policy. There is also the age of the property. Properties that have been up for quite some time seem to be at higher risk the peril occur. They may also call for a higher premium. Lastly, the location. A property that is insured in Nairobi and a property that is insured in Thika. These two properties, they will have different terms, different clauses. When you claim a property, a destruction of a property that has occurred in the two places, the value will not be the same because of the location. What do you require so that you succeed in terms of insurance policy claims? Number one, you need to document everything. Documenting everything, I mean, from photographs. When a risk occurs, it's floods. When floods occur, if they did not destroy the whole property, you'll find that after some time, the water will possibly flow out, or you'll find means of drawing the water out of your property. You have to document, have the photographs of when the damage occurred, how extensive was the damage.
Wow.
This can serve as evidence if the photos are accurate and high quality. Also, you have to always have a claim of the copy for reference, so that maybe you'll keep yourself updated. What does a particular clause say when this risk occurs? It stipulates even the process. You also have to keep a record and receipt of all the expenses accruing from a damage. For example, you have to buy a new, let's say, carpet, you have to do new interior, and you had insured your property, but they took too long. The receipts will be equally important so that you prove this thing I bought, and I bought it after the damage happened. You also have to report the claim on time. Next point, have a detailed understanding of the policy. And Victor, there is a place you mentioned about engaging professionals. Have somebody who understands what does this part say, what does this clause say, and let them explain to you word to word, so that some clauses may not keep you away from being compensated when the risk occurs. The third point, you have to keep detailed records, and records that are up to date. Throughout the claim process, keep the records of all communications with the insurance companies, the emails, the phone calls, the replies, etc. Victor, you'll agree with me that in Kenya, anything can happen. Somebody can come and say,
Sure.
you never reported. What is the proof that you reported?
No report, no evidence.
Exactly. So you have to keep the evidence of the communications that took place. And lastly, you always have to seek professional assistance. Always. Before you get an insurance policy, seek assistance. What policy do I need for this property? The policies are different. What specific policy fits my needs? And that will help you when the risk occurs.
Wonderful. I believe one of the most important things that Kenyans and even diaspora listeners would do is familiarizing themselves with the property law in the country, the property law at their area of jurisdiction, so that when they're in such a scenario, they might not be taken advantage of. It's very important that you contact the right people, the right experts who will give you the correct information of property insurance. Of course, this is after listening to our podcast.
Of course, consultation 001.
We offer information, and then they get consultation.
Exactly. And you can also always ask questions on the comment section. Tell us, what do you think? What is your suggestion? What is your question? What do you commend us to discuss?
It's been a pleasure, guys. You've learned wonderful information on this second part of our podcast on property insurance. See you on the next episode of African Real Estate Podcast.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for always choosing African Real Estate Podcast. I have been your host, Dominic Mwangi, alongside
Victor Kiplagat.
And until next time, see you.
See you, guys.